This is just a quick unboxing video. I picked up this Redfield Ace Micro Dot. I'm not even sure if it's gonna fit. Picked it up at Academy. It looks like they might have their own line, or maybe it's an exclusive Academy sports and outdoor only. All right, instruction manual. One of those little cloths no one ever uses. Allen keys. Cover, dot, and mount. So this is it right here. All right, first things first, let me see if I can remove this plate. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to be putting on some sort of AR. It's going to go directly on the pistol. All right, looks like it's only being held by these two screws right here. So if you need to replace the battery on this, you do have to take off the optic and just remove the battery from the underside and go ahead and reset it. Hopefully it will still hold at 0, but I'm sure it's something that we're going to have to test if we ever have to change that out. All right, this wouldn't seat on here because of that lip right there. So it would overhang right there. So what I did was cut up a Bass Pro, put 2 holes in it, and now it's gonna sit flush. This is just a mock-up to see what it's gonna look like. I want to make sure it's gonna sit flush, and it looks like it's gonna work out. It's completely flat. Right here it looks like it's sticking up from the back, but it's not. It's just completely flush right here. So now what I plan on doing is getting this little aluminum plate that I found, shave off the edges, put some new holes, line it up with this rear sight, make sure that it's going to line up with the actual slide, and make myself a little plate. I think the plate came out as perfect as I could make it using a Dremel tool. It's a little scratched up, but I intend to fix that up later. It fits extremely snug. It kind of snaps in there, and when I run my finger over it, nice and smooth and flush all the way to the back. The front has that little upper lip, but that's the way the gun's designed. The rest is all nice and even. And just when I thought everything was about to just go on as smooth as can be, I find out that that little extra millimeter of plate made the screws just a hair too short. I didn't want to leave the plate with a bunch of bare aluminum showing, so I'm going to add some aluminum blue to cover that up, clean up the overall look of the plate. That way it's just a nice solid uniform color. These are the screws I was attempting to use, and this is the screw that I picked up today. Not much of a difference, but enough to cause us installation issues. You can see that it makes a significant difference on how far the screws stick out past the red dot. It'll definitely be able to get a hold of that slide. So I took several extra shots for a couple of reasons. One is I want to get this gun as accurate as possible because I will be shooting at things as small as squirrels up to 25-30 yards away, and they are going to be, in most cases, moving targets. Second, I've never heard of this brand up until recently, so I wanted to find out if the optic is actually going to hold its zero. Now these aren't powerful rounds. I was shooting CCIs and some Winchesters, but again, I want to make sure it's going to hold its zero. I'm confident that the actual mounting, the Loctite and the screws are perfectly fine, so I don't foresee that being an issue. If it does lose its zero, it's the dot itself. This is the finished product. As you can see, everything's mounted, good to go, and I just came back from the range, cleaned up my gun. For a little over $100 that I paid for it, the optic looks pretty good. So far it's functioning as it should. Press and hold down the arrow down to turn it off. Press it just a second or two and it turns right back on. It does have several different brightness settings, which is great, especially here with the Texas sun being as bright as it is. Everything on it so far is a win. Nice, flush, perfect on there. One thing I don't like is the adjustments, as most other red dots that have this kind of cheap setup, when you're turning it, one, it's not tactile, so you don't feel it. There's no clicks to it. It's just a smooth motion. But the part of that that I don't like is when you're removing the tool, if you're not careful, you end up moving the dot as you're trying to get that little tool out of there. But it wasn't the worst. So far, again, very happy with it. Sits flush with that. Doesn't look like that, but I mean, it feels as smooth as if this was one piece. So as long as it, again, continues to work, hold it zero and doesn't break, I'll be satisfied with it. If not, of course, I'll have to just get another one. I'd rather not. I like to just kind of have an optic on the gun, let it sit there, and that's pretty much married to that gun. We will see how it holds up. If any issues come about, I'll let you know. But again, these are available at Academy. Right now, they're on special, about $30 off the MSRP. So I think it's a good value. Again, provided it holds up. Much better than getting something like a Romeo Zero that you know is just going to mess up after 1 or 2 days at the range. If anything happens again, I'll keep you posted.